What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video. I want to get into something a little bit interesting. I find it interesting, at least, having to do with the New York Jets roster. So as of this time tomorrow, the Jets have to get their roster and the rest of the league to 53 guys. It's going to be a challenge, and the Jets are likely going to have to cut some players who will get claimed by other teams. Fans will panic. That's just the reality and how this is likely going to go. But what if the New York Jets were able to trade someone that was on the roster bubble? Enter Izzy Abanikanda. Now, going back to training camp and OTAs and minicamp, he really looked like he was on the bottom of the depth chart. He still kind of is. He's definitely behind Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis and Breece Hall. So at best, he's your fourth running back. But it comes down to if the Jets want to carry four running backs or they're good with three. If they do carry four, becomes a moot point because Izzy would be that fourth guy. If not, well, then maybe they try to sneak him on the practice squad, but they might be able to squeeze some value out of Izzy Abanikanda in a trade. Now, not much. Don't expect to trade him for some massive haul in return, but there's a world where the New York Jets could trade Izzy Abanikanda. To who, you might ask? Well, the Cowboys might be interested in Izzy Abanikanda. Now, this could be more of a fan thing. I've seen this a few times over the last few weeks. It feels like Cowboys fans talking about Izzy Abanikanda as an option. I saw rumors swirling today. And once again, I don't know if that is just fan driven or if there are legitimate rumors about the teams and specifically the Dallas Cowboys being interested in Izzy Abanikanda. But from their perspective, I think it makes some sense. So far in the preseason for the second year in a row, Izzy Abanikanda's looked pretty good. 21 carries, 129 yards, 2 touchdowns. Again, productive this year. Last year in the preseason looked good. Couldn't get on the field much in the regular season. It didn't look good when he was on the field. Pass protection an issue. Clearly the Jets changed their scheme up. They're not going to run as much wide outside zone. They're going to run inside a lot more. That's why they drafted 2 bigger backs. And naturally, many began to think, okay, Izzy's an odd man out. And when you look at the Dallas Cowboys, their running back room is not good. Their lead back is Ezekiel Elliott, and that's a name that was really good 5 years ago, but he's been in the league since 2016, and we know what happens to running backs. They go very, very quickly. Sorry to Ezekiel Elliott. He's just not the same guy that he was when he first got to Dallas almost 10 years ago now. Rico Dowdle is number 2. Royce Freeman, Deuce Vaughn. Those are the 4 guys on the roster for the Dallas Cowboys. Would Izzy be an upgrade over to what they have now? You might be able to make that case. At worst, a second running back on that team, potentially. That would be really exciting for Izzy to get that opportunity, and also for the Dallas Cowboys to potentially upgrade at a low cost. Now, what would a trade actually look like? Well, as I said, don't get your hopes up. It's not going to be very, very cost efficient to do this. I'm talking like a day 3 pick swap kind of a deal. The Jets traded John Franklin Myers, who is a significantly better player, and granted some of that's cap related, but only received a future 6th round pick. I'm thinking like a 2026 7th and Izzy Abanikanda for a 2026 6th round pick, something like that. The Jets don't have their 7th rounder in 2025, and I think it's something that a move that would be made a year out or so. I know it doesn't sound like much, but if you are potentially just going to release Izzy Abanikanda or try to get him on the practice squad, do you try to improve your draft stock a couple of years from now? Depends on how much they like Izzy, which I see the side for those who want to keep him because he offers something that the rest of the running back room doesn't really have with his speed and home run ability. I understand that side of it. A part of me also goes, well, they are going to rely on Breece a lot. Braylon Allen's going to be next in the pecking order and get a long runway here. And then they have Isaiah Davis, who's pretty similar to what Braylon Allen's going to do. I don't know if their offense is going to really require a guy like Izzy. And that's kind of what Joe Douglas and this offensive staff has to come up with. Are they going to use him in the game, or was he just essentially used in the preseason? I mean, they already released Valladay today, who they ran into the ground in the second half of these preseason games. Unfortunately, was not going to make the roster. And If Izzy's not going to make the roster, maybe the Jets could try to flip him, and the Dallas Cowboys might be the team that comes calling for Izzy Abanikanda. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on this idea in the comments down below. I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll catch you next time.